we're about to get started. All right. So I want to thank you all for coming today. This is our 24th McCloskey New Venture Competition. I've been here for half of that. So my personal favorite part of this competition is being able to watch the students and teams progress. So we see them come in at the beginning of August and middle of August and see their ideas. They're pitching their ideas. And then as they go through our programming, as they get paired up with students, as they keep growing and creating, we see these ventures coming out of these students. And a lot of what you're going to see today is exactly that. These students that have been working with our programs, these community members that have been paired up with student members to help them move their ideas through the programs. So I'm really excited that all of you are here today. You're going to hear some fantastic pitches, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about why we're here and how we want to do things. So I'd first like to thank the sponsors, the judges, mentors, and the teams themselves. It's been an amazing year. I also would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my assistant, Mackenzie Young, who has prepared all of these things, so give her a round of applause. So our competition started out this year with 189 teams. So that was our record high for any years, so we were really excited about that. And we want to say that we had over, I believe, 300 judges as a part of our ecosystem that went through rounds 1 and rounds 2 and gave an amazing set of feedback. We had over 1,500 sets of feedback for these students and teams to help them progress their ideas. Also 230 judges and participants. If you can see there, our cash and in-kind prizes grow every year. The total is over $600,000 of prizes and in-cash investment opportunities that these teams are receiving. I also now want to take the opportunity to congratulate all the semi-finalist teams. If you would stand where you are so we can give you a round of applause. They worked really hard to get here. Also, congratulations to our finalists. That's BizTech, Desi, DoorJack, Security Systems, Rotura, and Busy Locate. You'll see all of them on this side, so let's give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to introduce our final round judges. Greg Meredith, turn around and wave, Greg, is a retired private equity and venture capital investor who now spends much of his time working on educational initiatives, angel investing, and the mentoring of entrepreneurs and young executives. After graduating from Harvard Business School in 1986, Greg began his business career with Solomon Brothers Incorporated in the firm's merchant banking and distressed debt trading groups. Since leaving Solomon Brothers, Greg has formed a number of business units and investment partnerships with such firms as Nations Bank, HSBC Capital, and Procter NBF Capital Partners, a venture formed with the National Bank of Canada. Greg's investment activities include working with entrepreneurs and managers to develop operating plans, launch businesses, and revitalize struggling businesses and their branches. Greg also serves on the advisory council for the Idea Center. Mike Jocelyn, wave, is a partner at the 1842 Fund, a venture capital fund anchored by the University of Notre Dame. The fund aims to co-create and invest in faculty, student, and community startups emerging from the Ideal Center, as well as in software startups launched from the 1842 Studio, a new venture studio that builds scalable software startups targeting societal challenges aligned to the mission of the university. Over the past several years, he has served as a director at High Alpha Innovation, working with universities, corporations, governments to co-create new startups, funds, and venture studios. Mike holds an MBA from Harvard Business School. And lastly, but not least, Maya French is a visionary entrepreneur and accomplished brand builder in the consumer packaged goods sector, boasting a wealth of over a decade's experience in industry. Notably, she co-founded the nation's leading plant protein beverage, which has achieved nationwide distribution across esteemed retailers, including Whole Foods, 7-Eleven, Publix, and Walmart. With a profound passion for innovation and a relentless drive for success, Maya has recently embarked on a new chapter in her career by establishing MAD Projects, a cutting-edge venture studio. She serves as a co-founder of two groundbreaking consumer brands set to make their debut in the market this year: Happy Pop Sparkling Injury Pop and Relate Wellness. Thank you. So we have partnered with Buzz It for the last couple of years to assist with our virtual and hybrid events. We have been so impressed with their capabilities to help keep our audiences engaged. If you have not already scanned the QR code, you can do so here, or simply go to buzzit.ca and enter the event code ND Idea Center. This is how we'll be voting for our best presentation today, so I would encourage you to do the QR code so that you're able to vote for the best presentation that you see today out of the top 5 finalists. All that information also lives on the site forever. The attendees who register, so if you met somebody here and you're like, oh man, I really wish I could connect with this person, you can also do that through Buzz It. So I like to add that's like a virtual business card. So our first presentation is going to be from Neve Kerr, the winner of the high school portion of the McCloskey New Venture Competition. She will present and take questions from the judges, but she will not be in the pool for the grand prize, as there were separate awards for the high school division. I'd like to introduce Heritage Glow to come up to the stage and do their presentation.
So we are Sabra Skincare, and we are here to help young boys and girls rediscover their radiance through all-natural skincare products.
Hi, my name is Navneet Kaur. I am the co-founder of Sabra Skincare, as long as I'm also a senior at Penn High School, furthering my studies in artificial intelligence at IU Indianapolis.
I'm Emlina Shakil, also the co-founder, and I'm planning on furthering my education in finance and accounting through IUSB.
Our mentor was Lauren Renee. She is a student at Notre Dame studying business analytics, along with Kaden Sheets, who helped us develop our website since he's a web developer, and then our esthetician on the team is Katie Hooven.
I'm sure all of us as teenagers have wanted to buy skincare products and makeup products that our favorite influencers or celebrities have been using. However, most of these products contain harsh chemicals that really harm our skins, and people don't realize this. So we wanted to help people realize how bad chemical products are, and we wanted them to realize how effective natural skincare products are as well.
And also, all these chemicalized products lead teenagers to go to dermatologists and take harsh medications that have really bad long-term effects on their body without them realizing how bad they could be.
So our solution was having skincare products that contain all natural ingredients that are homemade and eco-friendly as well. These are recipes that our mothers and grandmothers have been using for years, and we're just advancing those recipes to put out onto the market. We're both from South Asia, and turmeric is a big part in South Asia, so we wanted to add that quality into our products as well, since turmeric is a really beneficial ingredient not only in food but also in skincare products.
So some of our products that we recently launched, since we've only been in business for 4 months, is our honey and turmeric body and face scrub, our rose and coconut body butter, and then our lip glosses. And we're looking to launch more products as we're still testing them and learning more about our organic skin ingredients that we want to use. So here are some of the results. As I personally also went through some really hard times with my skin, I learned a lot throughout my journey. It took a few years, but I also used to go out and buy really expensive, toxic products that really damaged my skin instead of making it better. But then actually listening to my adults, which were my grandma and mom, and they told me about the turmeric, and they were like, try it out. And I gave it a shot, and then I learned how over time and being consistent with these ingredients that you can literally find in your kitchen and how good they are for your skin, it can give you better results than products that you find that have like fentanyl or any other really bad toxic chemicals that may be bad for your skin.
So we just launched our brand 4 months ago, and there's still a lot of improvements that needs to be done in our unit economics. And so we're hoping to find somebody that can help us better understand, expand our knowledge on this as well, and perfect our numbers as well. So the gross profit margin on average for skincare industries is nearly 35 to 65%, and our gross profit margin is 45%. And
we're looking to decrease our cost of goods since we're using organic ingredients. It's quite expensive, and buying them in bulks is way more better. It's because we can use them in a lot more products instead of just a small bulk and just a few amount of our containers.
So there's a lot of natural skincare brands out there like OC, True Botanicals, and Ursa Major. However, our products are completely fragrance free. There's no added fragrance, and the only fragrance that is to it is the smell of the natural ingredients. We also have suitable packaging, meaning that you can reuse our containers as you want. They're chemical free, and we're also hoping to have a charity system soon where if you were to buy one product from us, we'd be donating another one of the same products to somebody who can't afford skincare so they can have the same experience as everybody else. Our social impact is that we'll be leaving a positive carbon footprint. Our products are also affordable, and we'll be giving back to the community as well. Our products are chemical free, and there's no chemicals in it whatsoever. Our packaging is also reusable as well.
Some of the attractions that we've met is launching our business for the first time, and then customer engagement. We have recently started to really engage with our customers as we found out that one-on-one engagement for us is better. Though we do have a website online, but social media advertisement, we're still working on that. And then sales growth, we're still trying to understand our sales and all of the marketing and number stuff. And then our milestones within 3 years that we're looking to hit is product development. Since we're still doing a lot of research in the home ingredients, we want to test more of the mixture and then go on from there. Sustainability achievements, we want to be sustainable because that's better for the community. And then market expansion, we want to expand our business and our website, and then so not only like South Bend and our community know about it, more it can also be spread around the world, and other people who have skin issues can actually know that we're out here and you can do more than just buy chemicalized products.
And we'd like to thank you all for your time to listening to our presentation. Thank you.
Great job, ladies. I'm going to open it up to the judges. They have 4 minutes for questions.
Hi, great presentation. I have a question about your shelf life. What is your current shelf life of all products?
So our products is, if you keep in a cool and dried place, it's gonna last like nearly 2 to 3 months. But there's obviously gonna be some color changes or texture changes because it's natural ingredients, and that's when you know that it's not good to use anymore. So you'll have to buy a new product, but the average is 2 to 3 months.
We also use our preservatives, most likely jojoba and vitamin E oil, which actually helps keep it long-term on the shelves.
On the go-to-market side, can you just tell me a bit about how you're thinking about experimenting with online marketing spend and driving traffic to your website? Can you just share a little bit more about your hypothesis and how you're testing that further?
Well, right now we're advertising our products through school events, or like we're in Startup Moxie here at Notre Dame, and we go to events, and that's how we tell people about more about our business and get more customer attraction that way. But we're also planning on attending like local news and places like that to get our name out there and get more customer attraction.
Curious if you could tell me how you're trying to present the product in terms of meeting the demand on the other side. And what I mean by that is your presentation is sort of a beauty product. Everything is floral and it's nice looking. It's also, in a sense, a medicinal product. And I'm wondering whether your presentation doesn't take a whole part of the market out of play, because men have skin problems and are looking for solutions just as women are.
Well,
So-
yeah, with our prize money, we're planning on advancing our products and getting a better quality product, but we're also planning on being more inclusive towards all people and having our brand not only for women but also focusing on men as well and their skin issues, like interviewing men and seeing like what they feel about their skin and what they wish they saw in skincare products, and then creating products that would benefit them like that.
So would you introduce a different line, do you think, or you would try to use one line and successfully market it to the two different groups, or
I think using-
certain multiple groups?
I think using one line to present multiple different things, because for our honey and turmeric scrub, men can still use that. It's not just for women, since it's for like inflammation or any different type of skin problem you might have, but kind of for as of right now, it's still one line.
All right, judges, thank you very much. Team, you did a great job. Fantastic. All right, so we are going to move right into our top final presentation. Do I need to click? You're looking at me. Oh, you got it. You're good. So our first team up is BizTech, which was the name that they entered in, but now they are Taro. Come on up.
It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. You just had a busy week at work, you left the gym, and you're starving. As you're walking home trying to find something healthy to eat, all you see around you are McDonald's and Burger Kings, and you ask yourself, how am I going to eat healthy today? That's what Matthew goes through every single week as an avid gym goer, someone who travels consistently for work, and someone who prioritizes his nutrition with healthy and high-protein food options. It's extremely difficult for him to do so due to the fact that 97% of all quick-service restaurants in the US serve primarily ultra-processed garbage.
Somewhere Matthew could go would be a restaurant like Sweetgreen, an extremely successful and revolutionary fast casual restaurant brand started by Georgetown graduates a little over a decade ago. Their tremendously high valuation and success can be attributed to their wildly popular and healthy plant-first menu. But there's just one problem for our friend Matthew, Joe.
Matthew can't stand salads. And in the over $180 billion and growing fast casual industry, as you can see, there are no players that serve healthy and high-protein meat-first options that Matthew wants. My name is Joe Hunt. I'm an absolute food and fitness nut from Texas. I'm a former varsity athlete here at Notre Dame, and I've experienced starting a food sale that did over $80,000 in just 4 semesters in my dorm. And with my co-founder, Zach, and I's love for food service, we're excited to announce
Toro, a new fast casual restaurant concept looking to deliver strength through our straightforward approach to nutrition. We want to help people like Matthew who want to eat healthy but prefer meat-first food options.
And you can do so by building your perfect power plate, ranging from our proteins like our signature sirloin steak, sides like roasted potatoes and asparagus, and being able to tailor your meals with premium steak sauces and compound butters. Or you can choose from a variety of our chef specials, ranging from our gluten-free, keto, paleo, carnivore, and even vegetarian options. However, you might look at the screen and ask, Wow, these are some meals I might find at a premium steakhouse. How are you guys making this work in a fast food restaurant? That's because sous vide technology is our operational steroid, and it offers us 3 key characteristics. It allows our food to be extremely high quality and tender, as seen in Michelin star restaurants like the French Laundry that use it exclusively for that use. Scalability, as Chipotle implemented sous vide to better operationalize their protein production. And most importantly, speed. It allows us to get steaks off the grill within minutes, as seen by the highly innovative food delivery service, Wonder. And to test this, we put together a team of rockstar Notre Dame students right here on campus to launch our MVP.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. We launched our MVP, a ghost kitchen operating out of Stanford Hall that delivered steak plates to students all across campus, and we saw some really tremendous successes. We had roughly 10% of campus follow us across our social media platforms, with over 40% of campus visiting our website. But it wasn't just this. Once they came in, they absolutely loved the product offering. We did roughly 6.8K in sales in just 20 hours of operation, had a best-in-class net promoter score of 69 with over 100 respondents. 30% of the customers who came in to eat with us decided to come back again, with 70% of them indicating they would come back at least once a week if we had a physical storefront. With this, our CAC doubling time was just over 1 month. But it wasn't just this quantitative data that excited us. We also had incredible qualitative feedback from both Notre Dame students, leading industry executives, and potential franchise partners.
And as we look to scale our concept, we put together a team of experienced advisors that oversee over $600 million in restaurant sales, and they've helped build our unit economics.
Yeah, that's right. They helped us realize how we could get our cost of goods sold for our steak plates to 31%, which is incredibly important because it puts us in line with fast casual industry benchmarks of maintaining profit margins right around 20%. But Joe, how exactly are you planning on bringing Toro to market?
Great question. So our go-to-market strategy will mirror the MVP we launched right here on campus. It's been validated by successful restaurant concepts like Raising Cane's and approved by a top-tier food accelerator, Full Course, we'll be joining this year. And it works like this. We want to start near college campuses to tap into these young and hungry student populations, move with them as they graduate into corporate jobs so we can tap the corporate market extremely hard, and then continue to scale into adjacent areas. Let's see if that went through. Perfect. And we've identified Dallas as an ideal location for us due to its rapidly growing population that fits our consumer demographics, the robust and deep pool of restaurant expertise and talent, and as a Texan myself, I can testify that Texans love steak. And we've also identified Nashville and Tampa as 2 other markets with ideal characteristics we want to launch into after we crush Dallas.
What Joe and I are really excited for with this brand, however, is the impact we know we're going to have on the world. And we think it's threefolded. First, by supporting American cattle ranchers, we look to bolster local economies. Second, by offering nutrient-rich steak plates, we hope to improve health. And then lastly, by creating a sense of community within our stores of people who want to promote eating healthy.
Absolutely. And as we look to close out our MVP and continue to validate our scalable model, we want to prep for our first raise this summer to be able to get a store out as early as Q2 in 2025. However, we don't want to stop at just one location. We want to continue scaling through franchising to hit over 60 locations by 2029. And our ask is the $50,000 to get the resources we need to continue helping people like Matthew, my brother-in-law, and millions of other Americans eat better and live stronger at Toro. But if you guys still don't believe us, we actually had our team prep steaks from Stanford Hall to give you guys a sample right here live from Corvette.
All right, thank you guys.
Incredible. How's it look?
I feel like I have to try the product right now, so.
Take a minute to take a bite.
Why don't I ask a question while they're, and then we'll swap. I'm curious about when you actually listed your menu, you actually had proteins.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious about whether this is sort of protein first or meat first as you went through the decision as to how you were going to set this up. Did you consider it being protein first, given some people are not really enamored with meat, but protein being a sort of really healthy choice in addition to your diet.
Yeah, that's something we're looking as we continue to validate our customer base and their interests and needs. Right now, we're looking for meat-first options. So on our menu, we had chicken, steak. We're looking to add shrimp and fish. However, non-meat options like tofu are something we're going to think about.
A lot of restaurant businesses, it's, you know, the success is determined by the location. How can you tell us a little bit more about how you're thinking about scouting locations and what the criteria of a good location might be for your first few?
Yeah. No, we want to, this summer and as we look during our first raise, we want to work with local real estate agents in the Dallas area to locate and identify ideal locations for us as we look to scale near SMU like we had on the screen. However, that's going to be a pretty mission critical next step for us as we move into launching our first store.
You mentioned that your profit margins are currently 31%. Is that only specific to the ghost kitchen, and how does that change when you move over to a physical retail location?
Yeah, so that was for our COGS, so our cost of goods sold, forecasted to be 31%. However, as we scale, we'll get economies of scale to actually lower that cost of goods sold. With the MVP we ran on campus, we can't really test labor and other operating expenses you'd see in a restaurant. So we've really honed in on getting the 31% cost of goods sold, which is really in line, as Zach was mentioning, with other concepts to get profit margins in the fast casual restaurant industry right around 20%, which would allow us to continue to scale and have a really successful first launch.
Can you tell me what your model restaurant looks like and what your mix between in-restaurant and delivery you expect?
Yeah, I think we want it to be a hybrid between a Chipotle, a Cava, and a Sweetgreen, somewhere where customers can move through the restaurant fairly quickly. We do want to be cognizant of, you know, making sure we're supporting and augmenting digital channels. We ran a survey among our consumer base, which is primarily college students at this point, and 25 to 50% of them said they would want takeout options to be readily available. And I know it's something Chipotle and other fast casual restaurants are implementing, so we definitely want to be cognizant of that.
Got time for one more question?
So it's critical to have a great, you know, launch and drive demand and kind of the fear that you're missing out on a great experience. Can you tell me a bit more about like that store opening process, how you would think about generating initial demand, especially since it's critical to use that data to show that the COGS, in fact, in the real world in this restaurant are actually replicable in other locations? Can you just tell me a bit about the store opening process?
Yeah. So in parallel with construction, we want to be launching a ghost kitchen or pop-ups like we did on Notre Dame's campus at SMU, really tap into the student population before we actually open the first store to, you know, see what demand will look like and break into the market through social media channels and other customer acquisition strategies we've launched on campus. And then from there, when we launch, we hope to already have a consumer base that are coming in. So our first month will be more successful than if we were just launching without any traction before that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Great job. All right, judges, are you going to share your food with the audience? So our next team up is going to be Team Desi.
Is this the clicker? Okay. Oh, excuse me. All right, am I live? Yeah, sounds like it. Awesome. Oh, wait, do you mind restarting? Thanks. Awesome. All right, hi, folks. My name is Liam Redmond. I am a Notre Dame junior and the founder of Desi. My freshman year in the South Dining Hall stir-fry line, I ran into a kid named Zach Brown who was in front of me joking about how he had spent $50 on an Uber to a wings place 3 miles down the road. Everything you see today, Zach and I have built. We have 3 full-time employees that we hired this month, and we are fully funded by Pivot North Capital and Tim Connors, who closed our $300K pre-seed last August. So after Zach and I meeting, we actually spent a year researching why these prices were so high, and we saw some astonishing stats. We realized rideshare is simply untenable in less populated areas. Their driver customer acquisition cost $250. Even worse, they were churning 97% of their drivers, only able to retain 3% after 1 year. That ultimately resulted in these insane prices that we're seeing. I know if you went to the South Bend Cubs game yesterday, you bought a $50 Uber there. That is absolutely absurd. We noticed some other crazy stats. 23% of women have reported harassment in an Uber. So after our research, we realized some incredible insights. We realized there was all this supply sitting right in front of us here on campus, with 56% of US college students bringing a car to campus, many of them driving DoorDash, but none of them Uber. They wanted to drive a Big Mac, but not a stranger. That's where the idea of Desi was born, a community marketplace where college students match safely, affordably, and authentically for shared rides in their network. And that meant we had a couple things going for us: enhanced safety and a stickier product with better economics. No weird driver suddenly. You had to have a .edu email to sign up for the platform and match with exclusively fellow classmates. We realized we're also cheaper, with 100% of the ride fare going directly to the driver, meaning drivers were taking home better margins and we were able to charge our ride fares less. And best of all, and most sticky, positive social experience. We were able to connect new groups of students in our cars, grads with undergrads, freshmen with seniors. So you might ask, if 100% of the ride is going to our drivers, how are we making our money? Throughout our product, we quickly realized we can not only get students where they need to go, but we can actually influence their destination decisions. We realized we were sitting on a gold mine of social data of where everyone was going, what was hot and what was not. We were able to leverage that data to show our users where to go. Where's everyone headed? As a college student, we all follow the crowd, right? We also realized we could use discounted rides to specific addresses to influence and increase destination selection to certain addresses and locations around town. And we realized local venues will pay us a lot of money to do that and influence our users to their address. So with this, we were able to effectively drive demand while create FOMO and shared campus experiences. Our rides started to become part of the destination experience. We talked about med school. I met my boyfriend driving Desi. Invite us to the wedding. Come on now. My friends and I can see what's going on around town. I have stopped using Uber since downloading this app. As a founder, I cannot be more proud my company is competing with one of the biggest in the world. So what does this all mean? We are able to make a lot of money while facilitating student access to the local economy. We piloted with our first venue in February, 4.2K, influencing over 500 students to a local emo boy band. Who's going to that? No college student I know, but we brought over 500. March, 7.6, we signed our second venue. Some of you may know Lang Lab. No college student on Notre Dame has ever heard of it. We brought over 500 people there. And this month alone, this stat is actually incorrect. This month, we are closing on $31,000 on monthly recurring revenue from the 5 new venue partners that we have signed. 2K last night alone. Our CAC, less than $1. 28% of students not aware, but actively using the platform. And we facilitated over $160,000 into the South Bend economy. You hop on Desi, the average driver hourly earning is $33 an hour. One kid made 4 figures last weekend, and another has made $13,000 alone this year. Our economics are simply awesome. Only spent $2,000 to launch Notre Dame. That was it. The rest is entirely ambassador affiliate driven, with 20% of all source revenue going to ambassadors. Our ARR, it's actually bigger now, but it's $250K at the time that I made this deck. Our gross margin, 80%. In sum, we can influence roughly 25% of our users where to go to each destination, and these venues will pay us about $10 to $20 per student influence. I'm running out of time, but ask me about this in the questions. This is our go-to-market strategy. It is largely affiliate-driven, and it is very much focused on the more kids that go, everybody follows. It's an exponential growth to destination. Again, I'm running out of time, but this is a massive market. This is a big, big opportunity. $10 billion we estimate. I'm happy to go over the math and the questions. But we're also seeing insane rise with VC funds towards college startups, with the target audience being college students, because CAC is so low and word of mouth spread is so fast, which is exactly what we've seen. You look at Uber, right? They are dominating Lyft right now, and they are charging whatever they want. We saw that last night with the South Bend Cubs. So why we're all here? We're a force for good, right? We've got enhanced safety and we are literally fueling the South Bend economy. We're providing a safer environment for our students in our cars, and we are providing a high-paying gig opportunity, 2x above the campus minimum wage. And best of all, we are supporting locals, supporting businesses that need it most. We are directing traffic to places that just haven't seen it. So what's next for us? We are still in MVP mode, believe it or not. We need to build V1 for this fall. We also need to decide how much money we would like to take this summer. And last but certainly not least, we are launching 5 new markets this fall, which include 10 to 15 campuses. That is our ask. If you know folks in Nashville, in Burlington, in Richmond, Virginia, please let us know as we are getting ready to launch. So thank you so much, and ride Desi.
All right, judges, begin with your questions.
I think you need to work on your enthusiasm a little bit.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm wondering, as you get to new locations, talk to me a little bit about maintaining quality and how you screen properly and how you price by market, how you intend to monitor that and be comfortable that the pricing isn't being...
It's a great question. So right now, we're in the thick of figuring out what our algorithm looks like. How does that work? We're kind of playing around with different AIs, and that works. Right now, it's just me looking at Uber prices and surging us lower. We realized pretty quickly we had to surge because we were cutting so low, and then people were just swamping the platform. When Uber was $50, we were $8 last night, so we can't be doing that, right? But in terms of screening about who joins the platform, all EDU to start, right? We've combined the rider and driver into one platform, one app, and to get on as a driver, you have to have a certain number of referrals to join. You have to meet and have that student, hey, this kid's okay to join. It just can't be a random student, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how we screen there. And then we really work with our operations team. We have one ops person per every 10 campuses who really kind of manages, okay, hey, screening, we collect all IDs, hey, car insurance, all that kind of stuff before they can hop on and drive.
And are you going to try to control essentially all the markets? Are you going to franchise this out to people that will start their own businesses utilizing your technology and the brand?
It's all franchised out. Yeah, we think this thing's very scalable. We figured out it's not about the campus we launch, but it's actually about the people who launch it. We've seen a lot of USC students, which, believe it or not, we thought that was the last school we'd ever head to, and it probably still is. But nobody likes USC here, right? But we do think it's incredibly fascinating. Nobody likes Uber. If you start to ask folks, it's incredibly transactional. It is literally black and white. We're green.
Can you tell a little bit more about regulatory landscape? Just in Minneapolis, Uber and Lyft were kind of kicked out of Minneapolis. And so there's a flux of co-ops and other types of ride-sharing platforms that are emerging. That could be opportunity, that could be threat. But could you talk a little bit more about insurance, all the other things that, do you have liability? So can you just share a bit more about how you're managing the risks?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question. So this is a lot of legal advice that's going to talk to you now. But we are actually not a rideshare or a TNC. Uber is a transportation network company. They broker the transaction. They collect your credit card. They take a cut. We do not do that. We don't touch the funds at all. It goes directly to rider and driver, which means we're actually a marketplace. We're just providing the software for students to connect, right? So this is our beautiful lawyer talking about, we do not broker handle the ride payment, avoiding liability and massive insurance overhead. And this is our plans for 2 to 3 years. Now, if we get into a situation where we see this thing going bigger than colleges, we can quickly pivot towards that TNC model when we have serious funding and revenue.
Time for one more question.
You're literally answering all of my questions. Because my question was just really what is the plan to expand outside of colleges? Because I do see the opportunity here with like lower income areas or just like lower populated areas, and love what you're doing with increasing consumers to venues.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. We've got 40 more seconds, so I'll talk a little bit about it. Unless somebody has another question, please cut me off. But initially we thought, hey, this is the Facebook model, right, where we take this to colleges and quickly scale out. And we're not sure we need to anymore, just because, if you look at what we're doing right now, 20 million college students, 8K here at Notre Dame, that's 2,500 units across the country, right? So if we've got 25% of campus riding roughly, and we're influencing about 25% of that, that's 250 per year. So if we have 100% riding, we're influencing 100%, that's 4 million per unit. Times that by 2,500, that's your $10 billion TAM. But you start to look at, other kind of marketplaces outside of colleges, it does get really fascinating. I know we're out of time, but I'm just passionate about this. So yeah,
Right.
thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We're taking just a quick break. You can sit right there. If you need to get up and go to the facilities, you may do so now. Mike had to go. One of the judges had to go.
Top 20, and they like get new awards.
All right, you have 1 minute to get back to your seats, and we're going to begin. All right, everyone, we're going to get started with our next presentation. The next presentation is Rotura.
My mic on? Ready? What if I told you that Google Maps is lying to you? Kind of. Let's meet Veronica. She's a single parent and does deliveries for Amazon. Using her own vehicle, Veronica makes over 15 stops a day, but finds herself spending lots of time and money on the road. Time that she could spend with her kids or money for her income. But Veronica faces the same problem that millions of drivers with lots of stops face daily. That mainstream navigation apps, like Google Maps, don't actually give you the fastest and most efficient route, specifically when you have several stops. While these platforms will navigate you in the order of stops that you enter, they won't rearrange your order to give you the fastest sequence, which is a game changer for so many segments. And I know this firsthand because I did software development for a small business in the delivery space and was shocked by how inefficient their routing was. I mean, these drivers are doing 20 to 30 deliveries a day, and we're wasting hours on the road each week by not having efficient routes, right? So this is clearly lost time for the drivers, but it's also lost money for the businesses. And so we built a solution for both. Introducing Routora. Routora is a route optimization platform that finds the fastest and most efficient route when you have multiple stops. Let's take a look at Veronica's route here. When she plugs in all of her addresses and clicks optimize, we then automatically reorder her stops, giving her the most fastest sequence possible. We tell her how much she saved in time, in mileage, and in fuel costs. When she's ready, we then preload her route into her favorite navigation apps like Google, Apple, and Waze. We've also built a web platform specifically for small businesses that want to manage routes for their drivers by adding features like mass importing and sharing routes.
And we've scaled quickly with $0 in marketing by accumulating over 30 million social media views by just creating our own content and listening to driver feedback about building products and features. Starting with our free MVP Chrome extension in summer 2022, we quickly scaled to 24,000 driver signups. Biggest piece of feedback, we want an app and a website. So last fall, we delivered just that. An app and a website with a bare bones freemium model, quickly scaled to another 16,000 driver signups. Biggest piece of feedback, we want importing features. Beginning of this year, we launched importing features, saw sales grow to 18K ARR, 200 paying users. And then most recently, because of a social media influx, we grew our MRR 20% month over month and sales 40% month over month, validating that we can scale with social media.
We are fulfilling a need. We've grown to over 40,000 beta users from over 90 countries around the world, many of which have reached out to us and told us that, hey, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and this has been a game changer for me. We've saved them millions of minutes, millions of miles on the road, over $300,000 in fuel costs, but what's really exciting to me is that we're having a direct impact on the environment. We've prevented over 900 metric tons in CO2 emissions, the equivalent of saving over 21,000 trees a year by just creating more efficient routes. Not only that, we're actually in talks with the California Carbon Credits Program to actually get paid for the carbon that we're saving our users. So it's going to be a very interesting revenue stream for us.
And so we make money by selling premium subscriptions at $18 a month or $180 a year on our app and website. And so we found a gap in the route planning market. A lot of other players are upstream supply chain focused on enterprise grade clients, whereas we focus on gig delivery and small business drivers in the downstream market. And these drivers are underserved, and so that's why we offer a web, we offer importing features, and most importantly, we seamlessly integrate with Google, Apple, and Waze, which none of our competitors do. And we're tapping into a huge market of underserved drivers. There's nearly 20 million of these gig delivery and small business drivers. But what's most remarkable is it's beyond delivery. We've had insurance adjusters, sales, field technicians, home health care coming to us and saying, we have a need, and they're on our platform right now, and they're paying. And e-commerce demand has 94% since COVID, so this market is only growing with more drivers, more stops, greater need for efficient route planning. And we're the team to do it. My name is Luke Blazek. I'm the COO of Routora alongside my co-founder, Tom Bozicott, who's built all three of our products from scratch alongside our in-house development team. We also have Brian George, our head of sales, and we have advisors who built billion-dollar consumer subscription businesses, billion-dollar food and beverage global supply chain businesses, and a former executive in routing in both Amazon and FedEx. And so how do we get to users? So we validate that social media is a channel to get to these users. And so we want to target gig drivers by partnering with the #1 gig driver app, Gridwise. We want to use Google and Facebook ads because we've gotten 30 million organic views on Instagram and Google SEO. So imagine what happens when we're now on the offensive with keyword targeting and segment targeting, where we can scale quickly, and a value-added reseller partnership in Dallas who would disseminate our product to telematics technology drivers in his area, which will allow us to scale to tens of thousands of drivers quickly. And so that's why we're asking here for $50K to round out our $150K raise. This will get us around 300,000 clicks on Google, Facebook, and Gridwise, and get us to 2 million ARR starting next week. And so we can scale fast with unit profitability, and with the highly targeted Google, Facebook ads, we can target these drivers with higher usage, maximize our LTV, while our cost of acquisition thus far has been 0. And so we have the unit economics to scale incredibly quickly. And so we're projecting 1 million by the end of the year. We plan to offer these paid ads and then do that partnership with the value-added reseller and then create new features and benefits which will get us to 10 million ARR in 3 years. Let's make your chips make sense. Thank you.
Okay, judges.
What's stopping another company from stealing this technology?
Yeah, so what we've observed is that we have competition, but they're more upstream, right? So they're catered for enterprise level, whereas we're more downstream, and we found a gap in the market specifically for small businesses and gig drivers. So that's really been our main sort of target point there, is this big gap. I think one use case in particular is Amazon Flex drivers. So that's actually our biggest interest is Amazon Flex drivers. If you're not aware, they do deliveries for Amazon, but with their own vehicles. So they have real economic stake when it comes to doing deliveries, right? But these big players, their incentives are aligned with the customers. Our incentives are aligned with the drivers. So we optimize their route, whereas Amazon would optimize around fulfillment centers for the customers, right? And so that's been a big point for us.
One thing that I was kind of thinking is if there are gig drivers, they have various gigs that they may want to focus on for that day, food delivery or, whatever. Can you tell me a bit more about okay, you found this kind of customer acquisition channel, right, that allows you to acquire customers and have a good business model. But can you tell me a bit more about what happens next and is there white labeling opportunities? Is there growth where you're, powering, the gig economy, the actual gig companies? And so can you just tell me a bit more about okay, you've acquired these users, now what?
So kind of front and center, we want to partner with the #1 gig driver app, Gridwise. And actually, to your point, they have a concentration of tens of thousands of these drivers, and a lot of them do multiple gigs. So their Uber, their Amazon Flex, their DoorDash, and this app optimizes where they do it. So we plan to be the only route player displaying ads on that channel. And then kind of to your point about white labeling, we came across, because of our social media, a value-added reseller in Dallas who sells telematics technology to tens of thousands of delivery drivers. And so he would bundle our software within his offerings and then send it to tens of thousands of drivers. That gives us a clear angle to scale very quickly. And then of course with our Google SEO, Facebook ads, we'll be able to pick keywords, deliberately target power users so that our economics are optimized, we're able to scale as quickly as possible.
And maybe just one quick follow-on. So, on the back end, you have to go through your whole tech stack, but is there actual routing optimization above and beyond third-party APIs that do some of that route optimization? I'm just trying to get a sense of the value of the data and what you do with that data as a means to add value to whoever your users are.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have proprietary code. One thing in particular is actually the seamless integration into navigation apps. One thing that we found is that if you're a gig driver or a small business, you want to route with what you're comfortable with, which is Google, Apple, Waze. A lot of our competitors, they have their own in-house navigation, which is obviously not as good as these big players, right? And so what we do is when we optimize routes, we take you to those platforms with the entire route preloaded. So that's something that we've built that's been really, really useful for the users that we have. Yeah.
I'm curious whether attached to the app itself, you're looking at essentially selling analysis of routing to, say, government entities that are sending people out into the field, utilities, those sorts of things. Is this something where you think you can utilize this type of technology to tell people how much money they're leaving on the table? Because it strikes me people would pay for that and want to see that kind of information.
100%. And actually, one of the reasons why we're sticky is because a lot of kind of small businesses, they have all this data for tax purposes. And so when it comes to, competitive analysis as well, is that because we're, easy to use and web focused for small businesses, is that, their data is with us. And so thus, switching to another player would be, it's very ineffective, right? And so, in kind of to address your question, we do plan to, whether it's kind of larger small business groups or even like through the value-added reseller to kind of sell data.
But you had a comparison of a couple of routes and the amount of time spent. Is it relatively straightforward for you to go into an entity, say, show us how you're routing these things now, and then get something back to them very quickly, which shows what you would do differently?
Exactly. Like we can show time saved, money saved, mileage saved, and actually drivers on our premium will get a monthly report of all that information that they can then use, kind of like I said earlier, for tax purposes. So very effective for small businesses, and of course, gig drivers who are essentially kind of their own individual small business with, economic stake in what they're doing.
All right, thank you, Otora.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, next team up is Visi Locate.
Hi, my name is Kira Dillon and I'm the CEO of Visi Locate. And we're really excited to share with you our new device that we're developing. It is a light-driven tumor localization device. Every person in this room today knows someone affected by breast cancer. It is very unfortunate that the risks for a woman in this room today, 1 in 8 of developing it in their lifetime. 63% of the new cases in the United States, almost 300,000 of them, are eligible for a surgery called a tumor lumpectomy surgery. It is a tumor removal surgery. Not only are there emotional stakes at risk here, but also financial. We were looking for a solution that can target these and help save surgeons and patients time in this procedure, as well as maintaining safety. We are 3 Notre Dame graduate students on a mission to improve the breast tumor removal process, making it easier and faster for both patients and surgeons worldwide. We are doing that by inserting a tiny device that lights up and changes color as the surgeon gets closer to the tumor. It is a simple and direct way for finding tumors.
So this is a simplistic view of the breast cancer journey. First, there's the diagnosis. Second is you mark where the tumor is actually at. And finally is removing that tumor. So where we step in that process is that second part, where we call localization. And there's 2 methods to this localization. The first is wired. 40% of that market is using that right now because it's inexpensive. However, it's very uncomfortable because it requires a wire to be sticking out of the patient's chest. Then they can be sitting in a hospital bed for up to 8 hours a day, for that surgery to take place, and it can move around in that time frame and cause complications for surgery later. 60% uses wireless, and it's great. However, it has its limitations in the sense that you get inaccurate distance readings in trying to find the tumor. It deactivates if it's touched with other surgical instrument, and you cannot identify multiple tumors. And we know this because we've done interviews with oncologists who have validated this. So we're not saying this, but we know there's a problem. But the great thing is we have a solution, and that's based on that device we just talked about, fixated with 2 LEDs, red and blue. From far away, you see a red light, but as you get closer and closer, it turns blue, gives you a very simple and direct way to find that tumor, making it easier and faster for patients and surgeons to save time. So when we look at that competitive landscape, we believe we're the most efficient and the easiest to use. And again, it's because that visual aid, we're easy to use because we don't have a magical or medical wand or additional screens to find the tumor, and we can accurately locate multiple tumors.
The market is very big, with $2.1 billion total addressable market, the global lumpectomy market. We want to target 5% of the US market, which is $38 million. It is a fast and growing market due to the earlier diagnoses of women worldwide and the higher awareness of breast cancer as well. Our business model, it's simple. We are pricing our technology at $82.5 thousand per unit. We have 20% gross margin, and we have 10 in one unit. We have 10 of our devices as well as 2 power transmitters. For a clinic to make profit, they just need to do 32 lumpectomies. We are looking at by 2029 to have $38 million annual revenue with just 5% market share.
And so when we look at the go-to-market strategy, the first thing we want is FDA clearance. And we're doing that by piggybacking off what our predicate devices have already done so that we can expedite the process. And we know who our customers are and how they're going to get paid. And it's based on those reimbursement codes. So knowing that, we have a beachhead market that we want to focus on. And that's utilizing an early adopter program by leveraging the relationships that we have with surgeons already. And then also, we want to keep it close to home here in the Midwest. Allows us to be very close to our customers and utilize that Notre Dame name, because we are a spinoff here, and be able to use that to get in the door much quicker. And so when you might ask, like, how are you going to get there? Who's going to get you there? It's the 3 engineers you see standing up here today with experience in medical device, sales and marketing, venture capitalism. We have our CTO, Sung Hoon, who's been developing this for the last 4 years under the tutelage of Dr. Thomas O'Sullivan, who has 14 years of experience in developing therapeutic and diagnostic tools for breast cancer. We are also supported by 4 other members covering the finance, startup, commercialization, and the medical sectors to help us achieve these goals. You finally might be asking, what have you done so far? Well, $100,000 initially raised that helped us build that prototype, which was further tested and evaluated by a surgeon, Dr. Alice Police, that confirmed the potential, and in the last 2 years has allowed us to get IP protection and a patent that's currently under review. This year, we're in the de-risking stage where you have fully funded 3 different surgeons to come in and validate the device further so that we can move this as quickly as possible from benchtop to bedside.
For a future step, we want to exit our company within 5 years. This is because one of our competitors, they sell their company $200 million when they touched 5% market share. So first, we want to raise seed funding, and after that, we are going to raise Series A and B to launch our company and to grow our company. And the goal right now is when we touch a 5% of market share, there's a chance for us to exit at $262 million.
The medical device space is very known for mergers and acquisitions, and that is so that we can actually get our device to patients as fast as we can using the distribution channels that are already there. Thank you for listening to us today. We were really excited about our technology, and I'd like to leave you on a note from Dr. Alice Police, our surgical advisor, how we have the amazing potential to bring a new standard to localization devices. Let's help make this a gold standard. So, thank you.
All right, judges.
You help me understand, you targeted 5% market share. And I think you're telling us this is a product that potentially revolutionizes the procedure.
Great question.
Why only 5%?
So that is the current number of ambulatory surgical centers in the Midwest. We are hoping to stay lean and be able to focus really on this region due to the number of these centers in the Midwest. That's why we have chosen the 5%. That is based off how many are based out here. As you can see in the slide before. Yes. So there's about 455 of these ambulatory surgical centers in the Midwest. It is incredibly hard for us to stay lean if we are going all across the United States. We would like to be pioneers here and be able to focus in on this area first. And in order for us to commercialize this and get it to patients as fast as possible in the medical device world, that is going to be through an acquisition. And we believe that we're not stuck to this figure. This is our kind of primary take. And we think, yes, this is our first approach.
A quick follow-up. You've got the reimbursement up there. Can you walk us through very quickly the front and back of the reimbursement? Because your product, I presume, is based upon the procedural reimbursement rates. So how are you actually getting from one to the other?
Yeah. It's a great question. As you might know, the healthcare field is quite confusing, both from the patient side and as well as the surgeon. So the way it works out is Medicare, everybody bases their payments off Medicare. And then private insurers will usually do 120% or 200% of what that reimbursement is. And so it's about $1,500 from Medicare. And so that's how we calculated that profit for the clinical systems. And so that's what we're basing it off of. And there's 2 different systems. If you get it placed at a radiologist by itself, there's a different code that you use and a different reimbursement scheme. And then if you're at an outpatient facility as opposed to an ambulatory surgical center, then again, the payments are different there as well. So we took the average approach and looking at how Medicare does it overall. But this payment could be much more. So if you're getting 200% reimbursement, that then can go down to 16 lumpectomies for you to actually get that clinical profit as well. So it just depends on the payer, but that's how we went about taking it. Thank you.
So on the target customer, selling into health systems, I know for a fact is very difficult and takes a long time. And of course, you need to go through the FDA process. Could you tell me a bit about like strategies for taking your early adopters and converting them into actual usage? And how are you planning to manage that program a bit more specifically?
Yeah, so as it relates to our early adopter programs and getting our foot in the door, we've worked, Dr. Alice Polices, who we've been referring to quite often, and so our lab has actually done clinical studies with them at Northwell Health in New York, and so we have a foot in the door there and being able to manage that, and so we've done it effectively from our lab already, so it's something that we already have experience with. And then as it pertains to the Midwest here, you know, again, it's the ability for us to stay lean and be able to contact and stay with them so that we're not stretching ourselves too thin. But we are in the process of we want to bring on more people who actually can help us in this space. You know, as it relates to regulatory, we're not experts in that field. It does take consultants or someone full time to be able to help us navigate that 510K process, or something like that.
Yeah, I think a big thing in the medical space is word of mouth and having really strong results initially from our key clinician as well as many other clinicians in the field. We're looking to go to breast cancer conferences and be able to showcase our device and show the potential that it has, and from there, that's really, yeah, how we'd get it to market.
Any last question?
This is very revolutionary. Congratulations. I wonder if you can tell me about any plans to expand outside of breast cancer or to any other type of cancer.
Yeah, you can take it.
So that's a really, again, all great questions. So there is the ability to do this for other types of cancers. And so somebody actually I think was talking about it today for cardiovascular and tumors on the heart. So it depends on how the surgery is approached. So as long as there's enough space, you know, the way that tissue works, it absorbs light to a certain extent. So if you're doing cardiovascular and you have to open up the cavity, you can see the light from inside as well. So it's got to go in already. So there's different types that you can work with. We also have, he's also developing another product as well. You know, he's a good go-getter. And so, but it's another type of implantable device with a light on it. And so you inject it to where the tumor site is. And also there's another solution that gets injected as well. And if you turn that light on, it actually activates an immune response. And so it targets the cancer in that one location as opposed to doing chemo throughout the whole body. So that's another avenue we want to take further on. You know, once it's fully vetted, you know, he's got publications coming out as well. So, you know, we've got a lot of things in the process that relates to that. And then we have some other things working, you know, as it relates to some recurring revenue for repairing the RF devices because they need to be, you know, constantly upkept. So those are things that we're looking into to further increase that recurring revenue.
All right, thank you. All right, you guys are ready for one more presentation? Next up is DoorJack, officially DoorJack Security Systems, LLC. Did they give you the clicker? Did they give you the clicker?
No.
Hey team VisiLocate, I need the clicker.
Come on.
That's okay.
What was a different one? How's this one work?
Different, just the green.
Okay.
Tyler?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Adam Toland. I'm a first-generation Irish student, and I'm delighted to be here today working with a community entrepreneur. He's invented a door barricading device to help prevent school shootings. I want to begin with an imaginative scenario and ask everyone in the room to please close your eyes. Imagine you're an elementary school teacher in a classroom with 25 kids. You're going about your normal day when suddenly, bang, you hear a shot from down the hallway. You immediately turn into go mode. You've been trained and you know what to do. You shield all the children in the corner of the room with your own body, praying the shooter can't enter. Unfortunately, you know there's no way to stop that classroom door from opening. Among all the commotion, a child looks up at you and cries for his parents. And in that moment, the horrifying thought crosses your mind. Today might be the last day these kids hear their parents tell them, "I love you." Unfortunately, scenarios like this one are becoming all too prevalent in our schools today.
And this is just one scenario. So far, in 2024, almost 20,000 students have suffered through an experience like this one. On top of that, there is an 1,800% increase in the number of school shootings in the US between 2010 and 2023. What an astounding figure. This means the number has gone from just under 2 per month to 1 every single day. It's clear from the data that this is an urgent and growing problem that requires an immediate solution. And that's what we propose today. Introducing the DoorJack, a patented device that secures classroom and commercial doors in under 5 seconds. DoorJack is both fire code and ADA compliant and works on any internal door. Its ease of deployment means that in the unfortunate yet increasingly likely event the DoorJack is required, you don't need a lot of thought to use it, and anyone, teacher or child, can deploy it. DoorJack is so strong that it withstands over 600 pounds of force. To deploy, simply set, step, and step away. And to release, just lift the handle. It's that quick and easy. DoorJack is so strong that the door itself will fail before the DoorJack. In summary, DoorJack is the only product with the unique combination of features that makes it marketable to schools. Not a single other competitor meets the criteria necessary. Our competition ranges from intricate tech systems that are 20 times more expensive to cheaper alternatives that are neither fire code nor ADA compliant. The key takeaway here is that DoorJack is uniquely placed as the only product on the market with the necessary components to make it a compelling and viable solution to schools. When speaking with schools, we know they want added security, but no other solution is up to scratch. DoorJack is. Right now, we're targeting our beachhead market of the 1,800 public schools in Indiana. Servicing these schools alone would see us generate a staggering $20 million. We also believe DoorJack has applications in the commercial and residential spaces. Assuming 5% of classrooms nationally adopt DoorJack and beginning to capture these markets gives us our SOM of 1.5 billion. And our TAM of 90 billion assumes capturing higher percentages of these same markets. In essence, the market opportunity for DoorJack is gigantic. But what's our plan to capture it? DoorJack is priced at $200. Right now, we manufacture for $65. That can drop to $40 with scale. Up until now, we've obtained a patent and established a manufacturing plan that requires no adjustment until we're hitting $24 million in recurring revenue. This year, we're projected to do $275K, and in the following 2 years, we will look to grow our full-time sales team and begin to make geographic expansions across the US. This will see us generate a conservative $4.2 million in 2026. And we're already off to a good start. We secured our first sale of $3K a few weeks ago and have a further $20K signed and committed. In general, the demand for DoorJack has been astronomical, and we're speaking with multiple Indiana school corporations who want to purchase it right now. We have a 100% NPS among teachers, who are our users, and superintendents, our decision makers. And a key quote came when we spoke with Ben, a superintendent just 40 minutes from here. In our very first meeting with Ben, he told us, "You may not be here to sell, but we're here to buy." This profound statement of intent speaks to the huge impact our product can have on school safety, and we've put together the perfect team to make it happen. Our founder, Nick, is a manufacturing expert and has spent over 10 years bringing products to market for companies such as NASA, SpaceX, GM, Yamaha, the list goes on. And we're being advised by John DeSalle, someone who has spent over 30 years scaling manufacturing products. Nick has built a team around him with the necessary experience to not only make this business work, but thrive. And this is not just a fun side hustle that will crumble when we hit adversity. Nick turned down a $200K a year job from Tesla to pursue this. Unfortunately, school shootings show no sign of slowing down, and DoorJack is a product that we want everyone to have, but never have to use. As we evolve and continue to grow, we want to make sure that more kids get home at night. Thank you.
Okay, judges, you may begin your questions.
tell us a little bit about what the patent covers?
The patent covers how the device actually attaches to the door. It covers the sliding member here, so how it slides back and forth. It covers the adjustable screw, and most importantly, it covers the off-center cam with a series of flats. So it covers all aspects of it. So if someone wanted to compete against it, they would have to somehow find another way how to grab on the door and move the door up without any sliding members, as well as trying to make as much force as the cam does and be as strong without interfering with the rest of the patent.
On the distribution side, can you tell me more about, we talked about health systems being hard to sell into. School boards and kind of local groups is equally tough, and there's often not a lot of budget lying around. Can you tell me a bit about how you're kind of cracking that egg and getting into these budgets and like what that sales cycle looks like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point on the budgets. That's one reason why we're pricing this at $200 rather than $300 or $400 like some people suggested, because we want to make sure and get early adopters who are all adopters. From low-income backgrounds, from everywhere, this product is for everyone, and every child's life is just as valuable. On the distribution side, right now, our main sales are just coming through speaking directly with principals and superintendents. However, we realize that as we grow, this probably needs to scale up, and we need to approach this from top down. So someone we're going to be looking to bring onto our team is someone with intergovernmental experience, who has experience lobbying and a political background, because we recognize that maybe going to the Department of Education boards on a state level is how we're going to do this big time.
As well as this also qualifies for the IDHS grant for Indiana. So if the school wants to buy this, they can apply for the grant. So if a school is under 500 students or pupils, they can get this as low as $75 or $50 a piece. So it drops the price significantly.
I would like to know, how long does it take to apply, and how is it easy to conceal? That's my first question.
It takes less than 5 seconds to use and conceal. We let the schools and the safety committees decide where the teachers put these. You can hide this in your drawer. You can hide this wherever you want. You can leave this next to the door if they want to. We let the schools decide that along with their safety plans. But you can fit this. It's not too large if you want to show that to the judges. But it's not very large. It conceals better than any of our competitors. And it's like I said, it's shockingly small. It only weighs 9 point. It's a couple grams short of 3 pounds.
And then what other type of businesses would this work for? I know there's businesses that have bulletproof glasses and things like that.
The market's more in school. Our beachhead is schools is because like my passion behind this is schools. This is why I started this. But there's a wide market for businesses as well as at-home use for people who rent or who can't install a lock of their own. If you want any added security, you can add that. As long as you can fit a number 2 pencil, that's what we tell the teachers. If a number 2 pencil can fit underneath the door, you can use the door jack.
Yeah, and just to clarify, school shootings are obviously in the media, and rightly so, but there's actually more business shootings and business-related shootings than school shootings. So this has huge applications to go into commercial buildings and do the same job.
We have time for one more question. If you have one. If you're good.
Can you compare what you're doing vis-a-vis aircraft security and what happened after 9/11? Like, who went in and actually made the doors? How are they reinforced? Is that a market that you might think about getting after as well?
Any market we're available. Right now we're actually building the business strategy and the sales strategy right now with the help of Animation Park and Adam. Any market that's right now we're kind of hitting the low-hanging fruits, right? What can we do correctly, quickly? We know there's a lot for government use. We know there's a lot of other uses for that. Like I said, we're open to all ears or any markets that are available, but like I said, our main focus is the schools and school corporations.
I just wondered if you'd looked at how sort of pricing performance worked, because I know one of the things that the airlines were talking about was when they secured those doors and they first did it, it cost them a ton of money, and then the pricing just went down through the floor. So I guess I'm sort of curious about whether a $200 price will hold against other methods of securing doors.
So far, what we've learned is this is a very niche market. If you can use a deadbolt, use a deadbolt. But if you have to abide by fire code, there's fire code compliance. If you have to deal with the fire code compliance, you have to use something. Is it the number one solution for everything? No. Is the technology be used for other things? Yes. But what it's really designed for is for the classrooms, for outward swinging doors, wherever. So it could technology be used for other, and then will the price come down eventually? And with the competitors come, I'm assuming, but I guess if we're getting competition that's trying to copy us, it's a good thing because we're successful.
Yeah, and just to clarify, there are cheaper competitors, but the reason why they don't work is because they're not fire code or ADA compliant. Schools buy them, schools have them for about a year. The fire marshal comes in, he says, this breaks fire code, you can't use this. Schools have to remove it. That's a waste of money. They don't have to waste money with our product because we already know that it's fire code and ADA compliant.
And all those competitors, every single one of them, you have to, besides the sleeve, you have to pay for installation. So on top of the cost, you add another $200 for installation and upkeep of the device. Ours doesn't have the update cost.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.
All right, that was the last of our presentations. We are going to move to the next. I'm going to take the judges to deliberation, and I'm going to have Mackenzie come up. We are putting up the code for the best present. Oh, I have the clicker. Oh, there it is. So this is to vote for the best presentation. So the 5 presentations from the teams you saw today, whichever one fit your fancy is the one that you should vote for. And I'm going to take the final round judges to deliberation, and we'll be back in a little bit, but I'm leaving it in the capable hands of Mackenzie and Matt Levy.
All right, thank you, Patty. So as the judges start making their way into deliberation, we would first like to bring Scott Ford, the Associate Vice President of Economic Development for the University of Notre Dame, as well as the Executive Director of Industry Labs, who will be announcing an exciting new opportunity, new here with the McCloskey New Venture Competition for our entrepreneurs from the region who are working in the manufacturing industry.
Well, good afternoon, and it's timely to follow a presentation like that where you hear about some students with ties to Elkhart looking at a manufacturing opportunity in a new venture. The McCloskey competition was established 23 years ago with the interest of promoting entrepreneurship at Notre Dame and in the South Bend Elkhart region. Implicit in that award was the assumption that the future of our economy relied on new companies serving new industries primarily. But entrepreneurship has a deep history in our region. It just may not be in a dimension that gets as much visibility because it doesn't involve always a hoodie and software. But nearly 1 out of 3 people locally work in manufacturing-related industries. And over the last few years, with the expansion of new resources at the university, including the services through Industry Labs, we have increased visibility to the cycles of innovation happening right across the street, right down the road in our local manufacturers. And not only those cycles of innovation, but also the emerging opportunities to address them with new technologies to address those issues. To celebrate and raise awareness to the intersection of entrepreneurship and manufacturing in our region, Connexus Indiana, Startup South Bend Elkhart, and Industry Labs will be sponsoring a new award, the Regional Manufacturing Award. This award will be granted to a company based in Elkhart, Marshall, or St. Joseph counties that's either a spin-off of an existing company, existing manufacturer, or is a startup that's responding to an identified challenge for the regional industry. The nominations will be evaluated in terms of their company's connection to the local industry, the potential impact they can have on the region, and the strength of the founding team. The award's really meant to celebrate sort of shop floor entrepreneurship, right? That typically happens quietly and off the spotlight, but has had a powerful impact in our region and poses a lot of great opportunities for all of you and your colleagues as well. So we're really excited about this award. Stay tuned via Patty, we'll have a distribution out there with a link, invitation for the future for nominations. So thank you.
All right, Scott, thank you so much. We're so excited to hear about this opportunity. And now we are pleased to bring up to stage John Henry, who is our Director of Student Startups over at the Idea Center, here up on stage. John will be demonstrating for us his Work the Pitch that we do very frequently with some of our student startups here within the Idea Center. He'll be using this technique on our Findlay Club team, who was actually a semifinalist and presented to us yesterday. So without further ado, John, you are free.
All right, so guys, this is going to be, I think, about 10 to 15 minutes. When we would do this in the classroom, it might be half an hour to an hour. So I'm going to speak really, really fast. I'm not. I'm going to actually work with this group, Findlay, and I want to share something I love about working with them, but also I love about working with a lot of the students that you just saw up here, which is that we see them coming back over and over. So for instance, Adam, who pitched last, he texted me when he was a sophomore. He's a senior right now. And he came and he worked in our summer program. He worked as leading our business development interns. And then we found this awesome position where he could essentially co-pilot with a regional founder, and we got very excited about that. So I'm saying that message to any student in the room. Even if you don't have an idea, we want you involved, because you could be up here as well eventually, even if it's not your concept. I also want to share this process a little bit for the founders in the room. I'll describe the programs that this group has gone through. And again, why they keep coming back is because we want this group on stage next year as our finalists. So we'll put them as if they're on the way to getting up here. And that's what this presentation will be. So if you're a founder, this could be your story. Also, if you're a mentor, I want you to connect with us. It's a very mentor-driven approach. So Franny is our mentor guru. Franny, wave your hand and stand up.
Franny. Go, Franny.
Often, if we do good, it's because we have hardworking students who are willing to find very bright mentors, and it's because of people like Franny that they can make those connections. Okay, so with that, we're going to start our Work the Pitch. So we're imagining that Findlay has come in with an idea, and I essentially I try to do three things. I want to learn about them, and that's where we start. We learn about the founders, and then I want to learn about their idea, and then I want to learn about their plans. So founder, idea, and plans are what we're going to be sprinting through right now. So why don't you guys just tell the story of how, like, who you are and why you're working on this. So why do you have personal attachment to whatever this concept is? Then we'll move into the concept.
Okay. So guys, I'm Tanish. I'm co-founder of Findlay along with Dave. I'm a current junior studying finance and real estate. And the reason why we decided to start Findlay is because we wanted to save as much as possible on our spends. And we found that about like 40% Americans own 3 or more credit cards, with them having like 100,000 offers at any given point in time, which is like impossible to keep track of. And we weren't able to do it as well. And we thought to ourselves, why isn't there one streamlined solution that just helps manage it all? And that's how Findlay was born, where we just aggregate a user's credit cards into one consolidated card, which then automatically selects the best card on the basis of the store the user's at.
I love it, Tanish, but I want to hear about you guys. So I want to hear, what's your level of commitment to this? Or is this something you're wanting to be full-time founders?
Correct.
What's your personal ambitions? Dave, why don't you?
Yeah, just like the origin story, Tanish and I both finance majors at Notre Dame, Indian community, so we kind of knew each other from the start. And one day we were just talking about credit cards and how hard it was to manage credit cards. And both of us had always like kind of wanted to start a startup. Like I'd been writing down ideas for a minute. I had like a sock subscription thing I was thinking about doing, but we'd never socks like
sock subscription. Okay.
Yeah, basically I kept running out of socks, and I was like, oh, like I wish I could have like monthly socks. So yeah. I think it's not that bad an idea. So I don't know why everyone's
maybe after exiting this one,
ride the waves
next
of energy.
Up, you know. But yeah, we were just talking about it one day, and Tanish was like, "Why isn't there one thing on the market that exists?"
and we decided to dive into it without really thinking about it. The first thing we did was print out these T-shirts. And then we reached out to the Idea Center, figured out how to make a pitch deck. And I would encourage like anyone here that has an idea to do the same, because the Idea Center is amazing. And if you think about all the problems that you have to solve at the start, you're never going to get started. You need to start and then attack it as it comes. So that's, I guess, unsolicited advice that I would give to you all. But yeah, just that's our background, both finance majors, eager to make a startup, came over here from India, and excited to build the only card that you guys are ever going to need to carry around.
So one of the things I'm always looking for when I'm talking to them are essentially what sacrifices are they willing to make. So I want to know what year they're at. I want to know how long of a passion is this for them, because ultimately in the back of my mind I'm thinking, are they going to be spending full time over the summer? Because that's their most precious asset. If a student is willing to go full time, I'm getting a read on a commitment level. That doesn't mean that all of you who don't want to make that level of commitment shouldn't engage. But what it does mean is we need to figure out which are the most appropriate programs for you right now. A full-time 10-week, or is it that you want the weekly coaching? So what they came in is they submitted the idea. Apparently they printed their shirts first. We got them up into a pitch deck, and we pulled them into Friday pitches. When they went into the Friday pitches, they also applied for the summer program. They didn't get it the first time. So,
we were too late, actually.
Yes.
So we couldn't even apply to raise the revenue. Yeah. And sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
John.
Go.
But we asked John, like, we want to work on our idea this summer. We don't want to go do an internship. So instead of going back home, doing an internship, or staying in the US, we decided to do a finance internship with the Idea Center.
Which we never did.
I mean, so
we just went in there and worked on our startup the full time.
So our job,
scrapping
I'd like to say that at least I helped out. Maybe Tanish was focused on other things.
Oh, I was focused on Finley.
But so essentially, there's so many opportunities at the Idea Center that you can avail of while working on your startup. So you could be a finance intern and you're going to meet so many people that are also looking to be entrepreneurs, looking to start a business, and it's the best place to find your co-founder.
Perfect. All right, so we found them. We found the right spot for them at the right stage that they were at. They weren't ready to be one of the founder tracks. They came in as an intern. That worked for a period of time. Now what I want you to do is to share a little bit about your concept. We try getting concepts to be able to be said in about 3 sentences, because that is the most frequent use of your idea that you'll be able to share. So if you can't get the 3 sentences down, you're typically not ready to even make a pitch deck. So we want tight, clear stories. So I want to hear you guys try yours.
Okay, I'll take it. So Finley provides you with the only card you need to carry around by combining all of your existing credit cards into an all-in-one smart Finley card that automatically routes every transaction to the card that saves you the most money. So,
Yeah. Okay.
There's my 3 cents.
In the audience, did that make sense? Raise your hand if that was understandable. Okay.
I like it.
Yes.
Cool.
So yes, that's actually our test, because ultimately if you can't tell someone else about it, then they didn't describe it clear enough. We have to spend a lot of time to get that level of clarity and simplicity. So we would spend time getting through these 3 sentences. The 3 sentences is a bit like a Mad Libs. It has all of the structural components. Each of the terms probably reflects to a slide that you do. When you have your elevator pitch, now when they're at a dinner or they can talk to any of you afterwards, they have the first thing to say. They need that automaticity to be able to describe themselves frequently, to be able to find the people that can help them the most. So in terms of people that can help them the most, I want you to describe a little bit as to what you think your top 1 to 3 risks are. So guys, we first talked about the people, then we talked about the idea. This is the plan. We build the plans based off risk. So we're getting them to say, I got a really cool idea. What could kill it? All right.
So one of the key risks that we identified was that one of the major advantages we have is going to market first with this product. So the more we delay it, the more we are unable to close, the slower we get to market, we increase the risk of another competitor just jumping in, because it's a problem that a lot of people have tried to hack on and have failed previously. We think we have found the right mix, and we believe we have found the right mix, but it's just a matter of time until someone else also figures it out and does it before us. So getting to market first and as soon as possible is a key risk for us. And
just on, like, in the same vein, the defensibility of our solution, because it's not something that can necessarily be patented, is like again ties into the whole getting to market first. Also, I wouldn't really describe it as a risk, but a roadblock for us right now, and I think maybe something that held us back from getting to the final round was that some of the companies that did make it over us have a product and are further ahead of us in that sense. Whereas the nature of the industry we're in, being in fintech, we require a higher capital requirement of $1 million to issue our Finley card, and that is something that we feel like once we were able, if we were able to have that tangible product interaction, we feel like that would elevate our pitch and allow us to be in that final 5 group.
Perfect. Okay. So you guys actually have traction, and you didn't share it in your elevator pitch. Could you share a little bit about what traction you have that demonstrates the interest in it?
So as they mentioned, we're raising $1 million pre-seed round. Sounds big, but we have investors like Sequoia Scout Fund and Plug and Play Technologies. Shout out Jin and
Yes,
the
Jin. That's our guy.
But yes, we have investors that have come on board to help build our vision of Finley, which is insane to us. Also, we're planning on doing a 300-person closed beta test this summer, and hopefully that goes well. But yeah.
Initially for us, we almost instantly, within a couple months of working on Finley, we got over 200 signups for our beta test just organically through talking to people. And that was a big traction metric for us. But now we feel like that number needs to go up by a lot as we prepare for public launch. So although that was something that we used to hit on in traction, that's not really something that we feel we can do anymore, just because of the people we're pitching to. Since our round size is now $1 million, we need to have a more impressive number. So we kind of see that as a weakness of ours right now and something we need to work on.
Got it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read back to them their risks and their evidence. Because what we're always trying to say is you need to identify your top risks and you quickly collect evidence that won't kill you. So for instance, when Tanish was saying, I don't know if we can get to market fast enough, he can also say, we put out some social posts and got 200 signups in about 3 days. And so that's where we want to start aligning data to disprove the likeliest killers of your company. That's one of our processes. Another thing that we do is we ask them what they think the risks are, but then we put them into frequent pitch scenarios. Again, that's why the elevator pitch is really good. Because the elevator pitch scenario or a pitch deck, which they've done a lot on Friday afternoons, will get them to hear feedback. Other people will respond what they think are the biggest reasons that it wouldn't work. So with this group, what I wanted to do is a surprise calibration with them between asking them what they thought their risks were, but they didn't make it to the finalists. So I was able to get some feedback from the judges who were semifinalist judges to be able to say what they thought the risks were. That's where we'll make a plan off of, because those are some of the likeliest reasons that other people won't believe them. So you need to get your internal perception calibrated by external perceptions, ideally by experts. Again, if you're mentors, we want to talk to you. We like these types of sessions. If you can give that type of feedback, Franny, again, is back there. All right, so the judges yesterday, when they heard you, they identified 2 issues. Technical feasibility as one of them, and your ability to operate and execute as a team. So what I'll simplify that last one is, which of you are the coders that can build the product?
So we have a CTO. That's my brother, Devansh Navu.
Here, wait, Tanish, just say, neither of us.
Okay, yeah, neither of us. I was just trying to sidestep the question.
Yes. So they're often in presentations where you need a seller and a builder, and they can't present the builder perspective a lot of the time. So I would say it's not surprising that you also get criticism about, is there a technical feasibility? They're not often able to present that person who will go argue that it is completely technically feasible. Sometimes that just comes from the credibility of the team. You often earlier heard from people who are able to do multiple of those functions. Builder, seller, are the core functions that you actually need to do to lift something off the ground. Okay, now you can respond with, well, what about the team execution? And then we'll go back to the feasibility.
So we have a CTO, my brother Devansh Chennavel. He's a full stack developer who's had prior experience coding and building 2 successful startups, and he's exited from one of them. And we have a team of 3 other devs apart from him, so all of us work together.
So he's essentially brought along his dev team from his previous 2 startups, and they're working for us.
Is it part-time, full-time?
Like as of right now, we've paused development of our Finley card as we're like finalizing our banking partnership, and our app is ready. So right now they're not working on it. But as soon as we've closed $1 million or have secured the banking partnership, which we're working on simultaneously, we'll resume operations with the dev team.
Got it. Okay, so this is a bit of a complicated one because there's a deeper technical issue that I was trying to pull it out, and I'll explain it a little bit. To make a credit card swipe actually process, all of the data needs to be processed in a factor of a few seconds. What they're trying to do is add a layer of complexity to the swipe, which is basically swipe, but it's not this card, let us go find the other card. Can that happen fast enough is a major technical challenge that they have to figure out. Talk a little bit about that.
So we think it's possible, and we know it's possible because there's a company known as Curve in the UK that is doing a very similar thing to us. The difference is they combine the credit cards, but they do not switch. So what we're essentially doing is we're taking their solution, replicating it, making it better, making it more optimized, adding our own touches to it, and packaging it up for the US market. So that's how we are confident that, and we know that this is going to work, because we have kind of figured out the bits of our solution.
Dave?
Yeah, just to add to that, we understand, and this was actually the third risk that I wanted to speak about. It's, or not risk, like the third reason why we perhaps didn't make it to the final is apprehension towards the actual feasibility of our product.
Yes.
And we have complete confidence in our solution because of the fact that it is modeled on a working solution and then optimized based on the US market. But we understand that that's not something that we will necessarily be able to convince everyone of just because we're not able to present them with a physical product in front of them like some other people are. So it's just, it's more selling ourselves as a team and the credibility of our partners and solution and showing people that we know it well enough and explaining it to our investors once we get to that particular stage. So that's how we kind of try and tackle that risk.
So let's identify this simple risk as something to build a plan around. What we see is that there may be a major technical obstacle that could prevent this from ever working. They're essentially saying, we have a theory on how it can work. We need to raise $1 million to see if it can. And what we would try to identify, and I think we might have to jump off in just a minute. Okay, so what we would try doing is then building a plan off of that. What is the most credible and succinct way that they could justify the technical feasibility of their pitch? So we've narrowed it down to what is the biggest obstacle that might be preventing. They're raised about $250,000 of their $1 million round as well. And so we're identifying a reason or a block that might be preventing them from what they've identified as the next milestone. We need to raise $1 million. We think we can do it. Let's raise $1 million and start processing transactions. And that will explain to everybody who didn't believe us that it was a brilliant idea. And then we would say, well, is there anything that you can do? Maybe it's a technically validated plan by some experts in the field so that their answer wouldn't be our partners that we're going to pay believe in us, but they might find independent parties that say, yes, that is totally technically feasible. An independent third-party technical validation would probably do them very well. And so that's an example when you come and work with us, we're trying to ultimately identify the mountaintop that you want to achieve. We want to disrupt credit card businesses because they want to be founders after they graduate. And then we'll boil it down to the foothill that you're in on that range of mountains to say, okay, technical feasibility is a critical issue. We need to find the best, cheapest data that we can to justify why we should advance further. So guys, if you work with the Idea Center, that's essentially what working with us looks like. Whether you're the founder or you just want to be part of that technical team that does the evaluation or just finds the technical team that does the evaluation, or you're the mentor that knows someone who can do that type of technical evaluation. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we love working with. I just want the startup coaches in the room really quickly just to stand up. We work with interns who are trained in all of this, and each team gets an intern. Eventually, they go into evening programs. Eventually, they'll go into a summer program. It's a graduated process. We love working with you guys. We're resourced to be able to support you. We see over 300 ideas like this a year, and we want to see 500. So I hope you all participate more, whether you're one of those 500 or you're supporting one of those 500. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, John.
All right, John, Finley Club, thank you so much. And now we will begin the awards presentation portion of today's McCloskey Final New Venture Competition. Today you will not be hearing from Patty, as we have done in the past, and you'll also not be hearing from me. Today I will bring up Matt Levy, the director of the Innovation Lab over at the Idea Center, to get the crowd ready and announce some awards.
Let's have another round of applause for John Henry, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever met John Henry just one time in your life, he is immediately in your top 10 favorite people. And I will note, he did give me a compliment on this vest first thing this morning, and I felt like $1 million all day, so thank you for that, John. My name is Matt Levy. I run the vaunted Innovation Lab as part of the Idea Center, and it's an honor to be here today. I'm a big fan of McCloskey. It's the #3 business plan competition in the United States. That is a very special place to be. And the reason it's ranked so highly is, one, the participation of the student body, and then, of course, the level of support that the Notre Dame community brings to these entrepreneurs. It's a very special thing. I'm honored to be here. And it's always been on my own personal bucket list to award hundreds of thousands of dollars to entrepreneurs, and that's what we're going to kick off starting now. So we'll dive right in. Earlier today, many of you attended our startup showcase, which celebrated over 40 Notre Dame and community startups. Thanks to the generous support of the Mike Vogel family, we have 2 awards to present. And I will just take a side note, Mike Vogel, you are a mentor to me, a role model to me for how to have impact in people's lives, so it's an honor to give this award today. Those attending the Startup Showcase determined our winners for best presentation by voting through our Buzz It platform. Both, please come to the stage to be recognized. The $500 runner-up prize is Vizzy Locate. Come on up, Vizzy Locate. And our $1,000 grand prize is Hygeia. Where are you at, Hygeia? The rules do state if you're not here, this goes automatically to the Innovation Lab, so thank you, Hygeia. We now would like to announce our in-kind awards for 2023. Our next award is the First State Bank Banking Services Award. This is a $3,000 cash prize with an additional $2,000 in banking services. First State Bank has been helping the community with their banking needs since 1910 with a mission to provide the highest quality products and services to valued customers. The First State Bank Banking Services Award is DoorJack Security Systems. Please come on up, DoorJack. Where are you at? Play Tech Center is a global innovation platform for startups, corporations, and investors. Plug and Play will offer $50,000 in-kind services to be awarded to 3 teams selected to participate in the Plug and Play Startup Camp, a 10-week program designed to immerse startups and entrepreneurs into the Silicon Valley environment. Through a combination of structured workshops, VC and corporate speaker series, mentoring, and active coaching, founders will crystallize their ideas and business plans, build out their business model and prototypes, and will present their refined pitches to the venture capital community at Expo Day. Those teams selected for this award may also receive an investment of $50,000 upon qualification to join Plug and Play investment portfolio. Please join me in welcoming Jin Yoon to the stage to announce the winners of this year's Plug and Play Startup Camp Award. Yes. Okay, we will be announcing this one towards the end. Apologies. Yes. We're allowed to fail forward a little bit around here. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Patent Hacks is also offering free access to their patent education platform for all participants of the McCloskey New Venture Competition. Teams had the opportunity to sign up for a free month in the platform to validate their ideas and work on a patent application before their presentations this week. Additionally, they are offering tonight's grand prize winner 1 year of discounted services. The winners of the Greatest Social Impact Award and Best Community Venture will be awarded 6-month access. We thank Patent Hacks for their continued support. Thank you, Patent Hacks. Trademark Ed is a company that simplifies the legal process so that our student entrepreneurs are empowered to protect their brands from day one. Founded by a former alum of the McCloskey competition, the platform is a one-stop, comprehensive platform for trademarks, marketing, and branding. Trademark Ed is offering our McCloskey teams an in-kind donation to use to their platform, free of charge. Thank you, Trademark Ed. We now move on to our Pitch for Investment Awards. Elevate Ventures exists to create sustainable cultures and infrastructure across Indiana to support the ongoing development and success of Indiana entrepreneurs. Nick Kuhn is Elevate Ventures Entrepreneur in Residence for the North Central region of Indiana and Vice President of Hardware Technologies. Nick, please join me to present the award, an opportunity to pitch to Elevate's Pre-Seed Fund.
Thanks, Matt, and great job. The criteria I used to select this winner was what founder has a growth mindset? What signals is a market sending for their order of magnitude of success? And what does the collaboration look like? I received an email, ironically, this morning, and it wasn't to me. It was kind of one of those email threads that just made its way back to me. It's going to make my job really easy because I'm just going to read a quote that happens to be from the founder of this company. So I hope I don't embarrass anyone, but here we go. The quote is, I actually got a Notre Dame intern. His name is Adam Toland. Adam was helping me build an advisory board because I was worried about my go-to-market plan. He goes on to say, today we are competing in the semifinals. We made it past almost 1,000 other companies, and we are now down to the final 20 competitors. And today, he was one of the 5. Doing the pitch competition at Notre Dame has really helped me hone my business to something way more professional than I could ever do myself. I think that email speaks for itself when I'm happy to award this to Adam and Nick of Doorjack Security Systems.
The Irish Angels Investing Group is dedicated to furthering startup growth through early stage investments, in which a founder, board member, or active investor is a student, graduate, parent, or faculty member at the University of Notre Dame. Matt Mulherin will now join me to present the Irish Angels Award, an opportunity to present to the Irish Angels.
If you don't know Irish Angels, it started about 12 years ago from some very successful Notre Dame alumni who were entrepreneurs and investors, and really were looking to invest in early stage companies throughout the United States. And now is one of the largest and most successful angel networks in the country, deploying $65 million across 100 different portfolio companies. We've been proud to be a part of the McCloskey Challenges over the years, and have had a number of the winners of our awards that we've invested in that have gone on to be really big companies and really successful companies. You might know of Hallow, Mark Wahlberg Super Bowl commercial just this past Super Bowl. That's a previous Irish Angels winner. Near Wave, you may have seen it if you were at the Notre Dame Ohio State game. They had a big ad on the teleprompter or on the jumbotron there. And a lot of others as well. But so we're very excited to announce the recipient of this year's award, and that is Desi.
This afternoon, we also would like to highlight some of our local high school teams competing in the McCloskey New Venture Competition. Teach Me 3D is a training tool designed specifically for middle and high school students and robotics teams located right here in the South Bend area. Today, they are helping one high school team with a $500 award for the best female-led high school team, and that is going to be Heritage Glow. Please come to the stage. Also contributing to our high school ventures today is the Garitoni Smith Family Foundation. This local foundation is offering a $5,000 award to be split between the top 3 local high school teams. The first place team is here. They will be receiving a $2,500 award. Please welcome back to the stage, Heritage Glow. Now we will announce the winners of our semi-finalist sponsorship prizes. Since its creation in 1988, Palo Alto Software has become a respected provider of small business tools worldwide with the single goal of helping other small businesses grow and become successful. They understand the challenges of startups, know what it takes to be successful, and are committed to providing knowledge, experience, and expertise to as many small businesses as possible. Palo Alto Software offers 2 cash awards each year for the best written business plans, $1,500 for the best graduate student pitch deck, and $1,500 for the best undergraduate student pitch deck. This year, the $1,500 prize for best undergraduate pitch deck, written undergraduate business plan, goes to, build that drama, Desi. And the $1,500 prize for best graduate pitch deck goes to Busy Locate. Come on up, Desi and Busy Locate. Equicorp is a collection of young and accomplished entrepreneurs and business leaders working independently in a variety of industries and in markets throughout the world. Their ambition is to harness Equifund talents, imagination, and entrepreneurial spirit to cultivate new relationships, discover new opportunities, develop new management, and to build new partnerships for tomorrow. Equicorp sponsors our $10,000 cash award for the best undergraduate venture. This year, the award for best undergraduate venture goes to Real Block Exchange. Come on up, Real Block. We'll be going back in time, I promise. Evan Ray and Sean O'Brien are veterans of the McCloskey New Venture Competition, competing back in 2012, co-founding Swift Media, Irish Beef, and now Mavely. With Mavely, their company has curated a collection of over 200 businesses founded by women that value sustainability and use the platform to connect with buyers on a more personal level. Today, they are sponsoring the Ray O'Brien Award for Best Minority-Led Venture. This award is being presented to Finley. The Best Alumni Venture Award is a relatively new award here for the McCloskey New Venture Competition, sponsored by the Maria Bailey family. Maria herself is an alumna of Notre Dame and competed through the semifinals of McCloskey with her own ventures, Popalicious Popcorn, back in 2022. She has chosen to support this year's competition with a special award to go out to our best alumni venture. This winner of this year's award for $5,000 in cash is Gardalin. Welcome to the stage, Gardalin. What a pleasure it is now. Each semester, the Student Entrepreneurship Department at the Idea Center hosts a pre-accelerator program aimed to be a resource to help Notre Dame ventures with different funding opportunities, connections, and growth here at Notre Dame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dial it up to 11 to bring John Henry, back up on stage to make the announcements.
All right, the Pre-A award. I'm looking for the team. Varden, you in the room? No! Okay, so the Pre-Accelerator goes to some of the best teams that we found during the year. There's one in the fall, one in the spring. When we go from 300 ideas, we narrow it down to 6 in the fall, 6 in the spring. There is a prize at the end of it. So Varden was the group that won this spring's Pre-Accelerator Award. That award is deemed or judged by the startup coaches. So at the end of that middle session, when I got all the startup coaches, they award $30,000 a year. This is just part of it. So this is one of the best teams that we saw in the spring. So, for Varden.
Marmon Holdings is a global industrial organization working with more than 100 autonomous manufacturing and service businesses to create meaningful solutions. With innovation at its core, the Marmon Group is working to make a difference across multiple industries. New to the McCloskey competition, Marmon will be sponsoring this year's Most Innovative Venture Award. I would like to invite the company's Chief Innovation Officer, Jeff Garcia, up to present this award.
As said, Marmon is a collection of diverse companies, and one of the areas that we do a lot of work in is equipment for the restaurant industry. The two people who judged the awards this year and read through all the semifinalist pitches to select the winner, one of them leads our restaurant equipment business. So it's not surprising that this year's winner for the most innovative award is Taro. We were very impressed. We were very impressed with the level of research they did on the market and the fact that they considered not only the consumer need state but the operational needs in order to found what we think will be a very successful operation.
The C Prize helps to provide funding to Notre Dame startups that are pushing to help move the needle in making the earth a better and cleaner place for generations to come. Today, they are awarding one team a $5,000 cash prize for the best idea in climate conservation and clean energy. This award will go to Rautora. Rautora, please come to the stage. The Sutherland family sponsors our $5,000 cash award for best presentation. Thanks to the generous support of the Sutherlands, we are able to make presentation coaching available to each of our semifinal teams to help our teams as they create winning pitch decks. You, the audience, have voted and selected VisiLocate as our winner today. Lavrock Ventures is a venture capital fund focused on post-seed and Series A investments in B2B software, cyber, GovTech, and other early-stage technology companies. Notre Dame graduate Jim Hunt is the managing partner of Lavrock Ventures, building upon his 35-plus year track record as one of the premier individual investors at the intersection of early-stage technology and national security. Lavrock sponsors a $10,000 cash award for Best Graduate Student Venture, and the winners are VisiLocate. Welcome back. Okay. Schurz Communications is a South Bend, Indiana-based broadband media group and cloud services provider. The $10,000 Schurz Innovation Award, as well as the $10,000 Best Female-Led Venture Awards, will be going to Solma AI is your Schurz Innovation Award, as well as VisiLocate for your Best Female-Led Venture Award. So Solma AI, or Simloop AI, and VisiLocate, please come to the stage. Each year, we like to recognize teams that are being started right here in the South Bend region with our Best Community Award, sponsored by the South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership. At this time, I would like to invite Marty Mechtenberg to the stage to present this year's award.
I evidently had too much fun at Idea Week this week, and I kind of lost my voice, so I'll keep this very short. But I'm Marty Meckenberg, Director of Entrepreneurship for the South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership. And I am very pleased this year to award the Best Community Venture to George Jack.
A new sponsor this year was Alternative Tax Solutions. They sponsored the Startup Showcase and are also supporting a $5,000 cash prize. We are thrilled to partner with them to create additional support and resources for our students. I would like to call up Andrew Parrish and John Raymond to announce their winner.
Hi, my name's Andrew Parrish. I'm the CEO of Alternate Tax Solutions and Alternate Consulting Solutions. So I travel around. I see many of these pitches, and I just want to say, well done, Notre Dame. Well done. In the tax code, there's something called R&D tax credits for startup companies. Hardly any startup companies use it. We've helped several of them do it over the years in several colleges, different organizations, all the way from blockchain to AI. And I encourage you to look into it as you go. It's a source of funding. And it's sponsored by the US government through the IRS, okay? So our award today is to an organization that has used some ingenuity and some determination to really come up with something that is very close to being very successful, we believe. And I'm going to ask John to announce it.
The winner is DoorJack Security Systems.
And that will conclude the Matt Levy portion of today's show. Thank you very much for having me. For those of you that are wondering, it is Men's Warehouse, where you can get a nice vest. Wonderful selection over there. It is my great pleasure to welcome back to the stage Patty Reinhardt.
Thank you so much, Matt. I knew you would enjoy this limelight. All right, so I need to go back and do a little housekeeping things, nothing that Matt did wrong. But I need to call up, I want to have Jen from Plug and Play come up and announce his award winners.
To fly back to Silicon Valley and sync with my team to see what's my general partner's pick, and I got an answer now. Before I give out the award, I just wanted to firstly thank the entrepreneurs, 100+ entrepreneurs who joined the McCloskey competition, and thank the ND faculty, especially, they're busy right now, organizing this competition and letting our firm be a sponsor of this event. On behalf of our firm and on behalf of our founder, Saeed Amidi, and our general partner, Ali Reza, I wanted to give this award to 3 companies today. The first one's Lee Equity Group. They're not here, so I'm taking back the $50,000. The second winner is Real Blog Exchange. We have one more. Do you guys want to do a drum roll? Last winner is Visi Locate.
Second of all, I wanted to, I don't know, I'm sure John plugged the startup coaches while he was up here, but these are a great group of students that work hard every week to help our student entrepreneurs move their ideas forward. And I would like to call up Maya and Owen, who are going to present the Startup Coach of the Year Award.
Thank you, Patty. So Maya and I have the best job on campus because we get to work with the most talented and most brilliant students that Notre Dame has to offer. Certainly the founders, but also our team of startup coaches that are just phenomenal in the guidance that they bring to the teams, as well as the advocacy for them. As John mentioned, we've seen some of the best teams through the pre-accelerator programs, and many of them were finalists and award winners here today. And so we want to take a moment to honor one of the coaches that's been particularly phenomenal in working with the teams, not only in his portfolio, but also with our wider team of startup coaches and all the teams in the pipeline. So please join us in congratulating Jamal Wilson.
Okay, so we're getting down to the end here. So I just want to make sure that I again thank all of our sponsors that were here today, especially to present their awards. We are so blessed to be in this community, and we are just so happy that our students get the impact of that. This next award is going to be the award for the venture that has the best social impact. Social impact is rooted deeply into the mission of the university. Every team was encouraged to think about how their venture could be a force for good in the world. This award recognizes the best startup venture addressing a significant social, environmental, or humanitarian problem. We are excited to announce a new sponsor for this award, High Alpha Innovation. I would like to bring Mike Jocelyn, a partner of the 1842 Fund, to speak a little bit about the work they are doing and announce the $10,000 award for Best Social Impact.
So I'm giving out this award on behalf of High Alpha Innovation. For those that aren't aware, it's an Indianapolis-based company that partners with universities, corporations, governments to co-create and fund startups, as well as launch venture funds like the 1842 Fund. We talk a lot about how startups can change the world. You saw a lot of that today. And for us, our philosophy is that if you have a sound business model that can scale rapidly to reach as many people as possible, that is it's a great way to solve some of the world's greatest challenges. Not every problem can be solved through a for-profit venture scale startup, of course, but we believe that, hey, if you want to get to impact as quickly as possible and change lives, that a startup is the best possible way to do it. And so one of the problems that, for this awardee that we're focused on is affordable housing. So, I won't go into a long spiel about how that's a problem. But we were really impressed by the startup's focus on how could you take vacant houses, convert them into more affordable studios that provide families with a lower cost alternative to be close to work. And we were just so impressed by Moby for focusing on such a critical problem and doing so in a way. And I don't know if I want to steal their thunder, but I heard news today that they're going to place 500 families, potentially, migrant families, close to work through some of their housing. And they're doing it in a way that is like a venture-backable, scalable business model, which we believe can be replicated anywhere. So I don't know if there's a Moby representative over here. Okay. But thank you.
All right, so we are down to the last award, the McCloskey Grand Prize winner. I'm ready to go celebrate, so I'm not even gonna joke around about it. We'd like to award this year's McCloskey Grand Prize winner to Vizzy Locate. As we close for tonight, we have one more opportunity, especially for the winner. I'm going to invite Neil Kane up here to explain a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you, Patty. I can't believe, A, that she let me talk, and B, at the end, I get to close you out. I'm Neil Kane. I'm one of 3 full-time faculty members in the Esteem Graduate Program. Let's hear it for Esteem. Esteem is a 1-year master's program in technology entrepreneurship, and it should surprise no one that the CEOs of 2 of the 5 finalists and the winning company are Esteem students. I recently became affiliated with an organization called Right to Start. Right to Start is a national, nonpartisan, nonprofit organization whose goal is to elevate entrepreneurial opportunity as a public priority. And the name Right to Start comes from a sort of a reference to the Constitution. Just as we all know what our rights are in the Bill of Rights, this organization believes that everybody has a right to start a business and fulfill their dreams. And one of the ways in which we embody that is through this lucky coin. And I know it looks a little weird, and even though we've seen prizes of up to $50,000 given out, this coin is priceless, not available in any store. And so what I wanted to do as one of the national ambassadors for Right to Start is to recognize Kiara Dillon, the CEO of our winning team tonight, and tell her through this lucky entrepreneurship coin that I support your right to build your dreams. And in doing so, you now, even though you're very early on your entrepreneurial journey, also inherit an important obligation. Part of the entrepreneur's ethos is to pay it forward, or in the words of Techstars, to give first. And so just as everybody in the room has supported you on your journey, someday you now have an obligation to give back. Congratulations. It's Miller time.
I know I'm coming back up one more time, but just to remind you where the reception is, it is at Legends. It starts now. We'll see you over there.
Hey, you remember when I told